Yo, 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 it's your Uncle T coming back at you with another Tombs Talk. First and foremost, we got a little bit of this Uncle Nearest 1884. I'm going to talk a little bit more about this at another time, forgive me. So your Uncle T has made like 2 videos. They didn't work out. I've been drinking the Uncle Nearest, so this is the 3rd video, the 3rd little shot. So again, we're calling in your most elevated angels, ancestors, and allies, bringing them into the space. We gonna pull a little card. We gonna pull the Herbal Astrology Oracle deck, and we gonna talk about some herbs. This can also serve as a slight little oracle reading for y'all. These are oracle cards, herbal oracle cards. We've also got the tarot. Again, if y'all want a little reading, go ahead and holla at your aunt. Comment down below. Holla if you vibing with this, or like I said, just directly comment if you want a reading for your aunt. But again, we're welcoming your most elevated angels, ancestors, and allies into the space as we get into this reading and talk about these sacred plant medicinals. Holla. Salud. We gonna throw a little Reiki into this Uncle Ernst. So this is what we gonna do. Sprinkle. We just gonna take a sip. We gonna take a sip. All right, so let me go ahead and shuffle this deck, the Herbal Astrology deck. We gonna pull a card, and I'm gonna read from the book. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to get. I'm knowledgeable on a lot of herbs, but I'm not knowledgeable on every herb. So we gonna see what comes through. Let's do a little bit of this. We gonna split it, hit it, and get it. Yup, they said that's what it is. So go ahead and pick a card, any card. This one? I don't know, that one. Okay, I got you. Said get it from the bottom of the deck. Wow. This is one of my top favorites from the deck. So we've got Dragon's Blood. Let me go ahead and focus in on that. It likes to zoom in on my face, so there we go. It looks like it is focused on this card. We've got Dragon's Blood. One of the most, if not the most powerful cards in the deck. It's probably like Dragon's Blood, Reishi, Tulsi, Holy Basil. There's a few that are my like top favorites just because I love these herbs. But Dragon's Blood, come on now. Now we're in the year of the dragon. We're actually coming towards the end of the year of the dragon. It's going to end near January, February during that Lunar New Year. We've got a 51 card that breaks down to 6. Now at 5 we're at changes, so 6 now we're moving beyond these changes and moving into a new phase, right? Moving into the positive side of things. Dragon's Blood. So it's got the card of Anima Mundi. Anima Mundi. So we're gonna read a little bit from the book, but basically your Uncle T, I just saw. Okay, I saw 323. I thought it said 333. We're just gonna wait till 333 to 333 wholeness. So your Uncle T messes with the dragons heavy. So my story, if y'all didn't know, I am a new moon child, born on a new moon. So in fact, my spirit came in on a dragon. My spirit came in as a reishi spore, coming in on a dragon via the new moon, the portal of the new moon, and descended down here onto Earth. So if you didn't know, now you know. So we're talking about Dragon's Blood, and let's give a big shout out to the Dragon's Blood. Salud. So for my cosmology, in the northern hemisphere, dragons are the constellation of Draco can be seen is always looking down to those of us here in the northern hemisphere. Now a lot of the ancient like manuscripts and things like that, the ancient cosmologies do come from the northern hemisphere. So for those of y'all in the southern hemisphere, I don't know how it rolls down there, forgive me, but here in the northern hemisphere, the constellation of Draco is always seen. Now some of these constellations are not really seen or can be in different quadrants via the seasons. No matter what season, the constellation of Draco is always looking down. So the dragons are our ancient ancestors. They were here before Tiamat, before Earth, and they're now in fact always looking down on Earth and its ancestors, predecessors, and the beings that inhabit this particular plane of existence. Now there are, third dimensional dragons. We've got alligators. We've got a lot of the lizards. You know what I mean? Our dragons. My friend even showed me this like dragon owl, yo. It's like a bird, but it's like a dragon. It was the coolest fucking thing I've ever seen. I never heard of it before. I can't even remember what it's called, but it's like a little bird that looks like a dragon. So we've got earth dragons, we've got water dragons, we've got fire dragons, and we've got earth, water, fire, and air dragons. Okay, so we've got all the elemental aspects of these dragons. They can be found here in the third dimension in the way of animals, things like that, and then they're also in the fifth, fourth, and higher dimensions. Okay, so if this is beyond y'all, I don't know what to tell you, but let's talk about dragon's blood. So this is a sacred tree that when you cut the tree, it literally looks like there's blood coming out of the tree, the sangre. Now the sangre, the blood, is like, that's a powerful aspect of the third dimension here. Your whole DNA, your whole aspect of your ancestry and who you are, your spirit and everything, is found within that DNA. There's so much within the DNA, so much within their blood. So let's read from the book about dragon blood. That's just a little cosmology that your Uncle T, really messes with heavy. And I could say a lot about dragons. I'm gonna have to do a dragon meditation here at some point in time. But you guys, for those of y'all who rock with your Uncle T, you probably got a little bit of dragon energy in you. Not everybody can mess with the dragons. They are very, it's a heavy energy. It's not for everybody, it's not for play. Let's put it that way. You know what I mean? So, and it is about taming our internal dragons, and some of us are not built, not built that way. You know what I mean? So let's read a little bit about dragons. So this particular card, it's got some upright connotations and some reversed connotations. So we're going to read the keywords from the book here. Upright keywords are oneness, merging with the divine, access to the world soul, which is anima mundi, access to the world soul, anima, the soul or spirit, mundi, right? The world soul, occult knowledge, initiation, universal donor, and entry into the great void. So let's talk about initiation. There's many of us that are being initiated right here, right now, and working with the dragons is an initiatory process, point period. Reversed, it can represent these keywords or key phrases of lost in the unknown, dark magic, overwhelm, inner conflict, and blocked spiritual sight. Now, I don't have it on me, but I do keep a dragon's blood tincture, which is pure dragon's blood. It's good for wound healing. It's good for the gums and, like healing the mouth. It's just good to invoke that essence of dragon's blood. It's got a gang of antioxidants, so it's super healthy, but you don't want to take too much, and it doesn't necessarily taste good. Like, it's got a crazy little bittery taste, you know what I mean? So working with dragon's blood can be very unique, but it's great for wound healing, and it actually is it forms like a latex type of bond. So the ancients used to use it and put it on cuts, abrasions, things like that for wound healing, as I'm sure the book will talk about. So let's go into it. Okay, let's talk about the astrological configurations. Black Moon, Lilith, and Pluto. Now Pluto represents the death, rebirth, and transformation aspect. It's a heavy energy. Again, it's not for play, not for everybody. There's light workers, dark workers, and those of us in between. And in my personal opinion, the only way to work with the light is to know the dark. That's why your Uncle T, I fuck with ninjutsu and some of these, I don't want to say dark arts, but dark arts, because you have to know the darker aspects, the darker side of things, in order to appreciate the light, and vice versa. Some people only work with the light and they're all love and light and angelic and this and that. Nah, man, this third dimension doesn't work that way. When we work with the yin and the yang, we're working with the darkness and the light. So you need to know and embrace equal accordingly. Okay, so let's read from the book. Also known as sangre de drago or sangre de grado in Amazonia and South America, this plant has a long history of indigenous use in the rainforest. The sap itself looks just like blood, la sangre. So in Spanish, la sangre is the blood. So the sap itself looks just like blood, la sangre, and it was often painted onto wounds to promote healing and seal them to prevent infection, as well as taken internally to prevent or stop internal bleeding. Indigenous peoples have used this in a myriad of ways. Externally for wounds, fractures, hemorrhages, hemorrhoids, and skin disorders, and internally for acid reflux, ulcers, and colitis, and as an antiviral. This crucial and life-saving medicine was and still is a staple for thousands of tribal people. So here in third world countries, we've got the benefit of pharmaceuticals and medicines of that nature, pills and things like that. But for many of these third world countries, they're still working directly with these herbs. So these herbs are not only sacred, but they're a vital part of these, indigenous people's healing practices. Physically, dragon's blood is the epitome of Plutonian and Scorpionic energy. We are in Scorpio season, so this is very fitting, okay? And also, let me say, your Uncle T's been trying to make this video. I made a few videos, they didn't work out. This is like the third video, so third time's the charm. Salud. Your Uncle T's been drinking a little bit too, so you know what it is. Can't be making videos and continuing to drink all day, you know what I'm saying? But that's what it is. So physically, the dragon's blood is the epitome of Plutonian and Scorpionic energy, as both archetypically rule the symbol of the blood, la sangre. Shamans have used dragon's blood in spell work, rituals of protection, purification, and consecration. In Christian art, the dragon was symbolic of evil and sin, yet many other traditions hold that serpent deities, like dragons, are benevolent, sharp-eyed dwellers that hold the mysteries of the great void. And that's where I come in. A lot of the Christian folklore or some of that type of folklore is talking about slaying the dragon, killing the dragon, this and that. Nah, I work with the dragons, number one, which again is not for everybody, so I'm not recommending this upon y'all. If y'all have been called to it, y'all have been called to it. If you ain't called to it, don't step up, because it's heavy energy, okay? But yeah, like I said, I believe they're benevolent, and the constellation of Draco is always looking down. They are our ancient ancestors. And, even from a more third dimensional plane of existence, we've got the alligators, things like that, these reptiles. So, reptiles are cold-blooded, so we could be talking about more of a cold-blooded type energy. And the cold-blooded reptiles, they're known to eat their young. Whereas the mammalians are warm-blooded. Us as mammalians are warm-blooded, and warm-bloodedness comes with more of an empathetic nature. A less instinctual nature and more of an empathetic, caring type of nature. So we as humans are bridging the reptilian brain, which is the brain stem, which monitors all our internal functions. And it's like your breathing is monitored by the brain stem, right? So it's about survival and instinctual practices, procreation, breathing, blood flow, circulation, all the functions of our internal organs. Those are housed within the brainstem. And then when we get into that higher elevation, when things are good and we're moving beyond survival, now we can love and care for thy neighbor and things like that, okay? So I don't know, that wanted to come through. But anyway, now about the guidance. That's just a little history of the herb itself. Now let's talk about the guidance that this particular card brings. So this is the oracle aspect for y'all within this particular video. Dragons are ancient guardians of the earth, symbolizing hidden knowledge and auspicious powers of supernatural origin. Dragons are etheric beings that inhabit the deepest pockets of the ethers and have dominion over the four elements. That's why I say there's air, water, fire, and earth dragons found here in the third dimension and on the etheric plane, and then together those combined four equal a fifth: air, fire, water, earth, and ether. Dragons are etheric beings that inhabit the deepest pockets of the ethers and have dominion over the four elements. Dragon's blood core, so the tree, dragon's blood core oozes blood, representing the collective blood, the blood of nature, and serving as a gateway to the anima mundi, the world soul. As you enter the all-seeing portal of the great void, do not shy away from its vastness. The all-seeing portal of the great void. Do not shy away from its vastness. Embrace it as you are undergoing this great initiation. Within this awakening, you will discover the unique pattern you contribute to the great tapestry of life. So I am my brother's keeper. We are all here to serve and help our brothers and sisters. You know, within the Bible, it talks about man having dominion over this earth. So us as higher elevated beings, we're beyond that reptilian, we're beyond the amphibian, we're beyond the, the bird brain, we're at the mammalian brain, and now this human consciousness is a whole nother level. We've got all these aspects within inside of us, and it is said that we now hold dominion over this earth. Now that's not dominion in the sense of I can control you, this and that. No, it's about being stewards and in service to the greater aspect of this anima mundi, to the greater aspect of the world soul. So, when we're working with dragon's blood, not only is it a heavy energy, but it is a energy that allows you to, it's a deep respect, reverence, and what's the word I'm looking for? It is a privilege to be of service and to be in dominion over this earth. So we're working with the four elements or the five elements, and we're helping and being stewardesses of this earth. That means caring for our brothers and sisters, animals, and this earth in general. There's so much aspects, plastics and foam, things that don't degrade for like thousands of years. That's crazy, right? So we need to move into this aspect of working with the world soul, working with the dragons to create a more harmonious place, to create heaven here on earth. So we are the bridges between earth and heaven. If y'all seen my Qigong video, that's where we're at. We're in the center of all this. And so it's up to us to be stewardesses and to help facilitate the healing of not only ourselves internally, but our brothers and sisters and the world at large. So anyway, that's just a little message. That's just what wants to come through with this particular oracle card, Dragon's Blood. Pretty much my favorite card in the deck, so y'all looked out today. This is a 20-minute video. It's a longer video, but if y'all want a more in-depth reading via the tarot and the Herbal astrology oracle deck, holla at your we're gonna get into an hour plus reading. I'm gonna record it for y'all so y'all can save it, come back at a later date and tap into the wisdom that was transferred. I'm also talk about some herbs that can help. We like to really solidify things. It's not enough just to have positive mindset or to have a positive outlook or to say, hey, things are going to be great. No, what are we going to do to solidify that from the higher dimensions down here into the third dimension and physical reality. Things like herbs really help with that. You know, herbs, affirmations, things like that. You know, that we're going to work into your physical being, into your psyche, so that way we can create heaven here on earth. So it's your Uncle T. I'm going to holla at you. This is a longer video, but again, I appreciate it. You know, I appreciate y'all for tuning in. If y'all stayed here this long, comment down below, holla, and I'm going to holla at you. Wholeness.